Welcome to Flecton UK. We thought we'd bring this somewhat mystery box of cartridges that came from the Newnham Street auction, lot number 286, about a year ago. We did briefly have a very quick look through it back when we got it, just to check that everything was as described, and we did discover one or two surprises which we had to note separately.
Let's begin sorting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we dive in.
Right.
Here, do you want?
No, it's fine.
We got it organized into a number of different lots. We're quite lucky there are a number of runs that we can make use of. Unfortunately, these guys here are all the individual pieces. There's a lot of First World War here and other bits and pieces and goodies, so we will put these aside for the time being. Next come these guys over here. They're not even 8mm, are they?
It says DWM 491A and 9x57. They are military cartridges that were manufactured after the First World War, or perhaps at the end of the First World War and up until the 1920s.
Interesting find. We'll put them aside for now.
Definitely.
Right, now we come to the 8mm pile, and here we have found some treasure. We have found a good run of German Second World War ammunition.
Looking at the head stamps, I've got 45 and 44.
Yeah, they're all steel cases. The two manufacturers are, we have a very short run, well, we have a single piece of EEL, which translates to?
It is the Märkisches Walzmark from Potsdam.
And the majority are HLC.
And that comes up as Zieh- und Standswerke Schleusingen, Thüringen. So
what I will do, first of all, I'll pull a few of these and I'll have a look at the condition of the powder. If it's up to it, I definitely want to shoot a couple of these and get some chrono data. But that's a nice find, a nice clean run of Second World War ammunition. That'll do very nicely, and we'll inert those. Next we have 3 different runs of Israeli ammunition.
you've got a 50 or a 48 or 49 indicating the year, and then you've got a 6-point star, which I checked out. It does definitely make it Israeli pre-1953. They changed over the head stamping conventions at that stage.
Yeah, so we have a few 1948 ones, quite a few more 1949, and quite a few more 1950. Now again, when it comes to pulling these, I'll have a look at the powder and I'll see if I can shoot a couple of the 1949 or 1950 ones, just to compare the loads and the velocities. We've had a bit of a marathon session, but we got it all done. I have pulled all the heads. I have left some left over. I'm very happy with the condition of the 1950s Israelis. I'm very happy with the condition of the 1949 Israelis. The 1948, I've pulled all of them. I won't be able to shoot those. The German stuff is too far gone to shoot safely.
Generally speaking, the German ones had a lot of rust in the case.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't even get an accurate reading on the powder.
What were the numbers then?
Well, we weighed the heads for the World War II German. That came up to 178 grains.
Quite rusted though.
Quite rusted. They were magnetic, had a copper jacket, boat tail. The Israeli 1948 ones, they were also magnetic, had a nickel jacket, I believe. It looks like a nickel jacket.
Yeah, definitely nickeled.
179 grains, sorry. The Israeli 1949, again, magnetic, nickel plated, and 180 grains. And the Israeli 1950 ones were magnetic, but they were copper jacketed, and they are 180 grains. We tried very hard to try to get the German one to measure up, but unfortunately it was just combined with much too much rust. We estimate that it probably was 41 to 42 grains realistically. It averaged out at only 37.02 grains.
It's just not a reliable number.
Yeah.
The cases, on the outside they look fine, but the inside they were all rusted.
It was a different story on the Israeli ones. For starters, they are brass cases, whereas the German ones are steel cases. So they came out quite nicely and accurately. For 1948 Israeli rounds,
we found 2 different types of powder, although they were in the same lot number. So For most of it were flakes, but 2 cases had extruded powder in. What were the weights for those?
If it was flake powder, it was about 43 to 43.5 grains, but when they changed to extruded, it was 44 grains.
Everything after that is extruded.
Yeah, we also took a reading on that. The Israeli 1949 rounds, they averaged out at 46.7 grains, and the Israeli 1950 rounds averaged out at 44 grains of powder.
We will shoot the 50s. Israeli 1950s will shoot two of them I held back. We'll shoot 2 of the Israeli 1949.
So I guess there's nothing more to do but to get these out on the range.
The positive thing is the ammunition fired, and it was a dry day, so that's always positive. What were the final numbers, Joe?
So the Israeli 1949 round gave an average of 2,451 feet per second, and the Israeli 1950 round gave an average of 2,492.5 feet per second.
Given that the Israelis would have used exactly the same firearm as the Germans, and given that the head of the German 1945 ammunition is the same weight, I'd assume that the German ammunition would have done the same. The one thing I would also say is that all this, unfortunately, was corrosive ammunition. So I will spend the next hour of my life trying to clean the bore of my of my Car 98 back to an acceptable degree, so I don't create a rust farm in there.
We've got some good numbers, and I guess it's time to get on with the cleaning.
Yeah, hope for more German 8mm in the future. We'll see you.